wrong understanding နဲ့ attachment ကို ရှော့နိုင်ရင်ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ဝိဇ္ဇာနဲ့တဏှာပေါ့ wrong understanding နဲ့ဒီမှာပေါ့ဝိဇ္ဇာပေါ့ attachment ကတဏှာပေါ့အဲ့ဒါတွေကြောင့်ပြဿနာတွေဖြစ်ရတာဒုက္ခတွေဖြစ်ရတာဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါတွေရှော့နိုင်ရင်ပေါ့ပြစ္ဆုတ်ကံဘဝမှာပေါ့ပြဿနာတွေနည်းလာမယ်ဒုက္ခတွေနည်းလာမယ်ပြီးတော့ပြဿနာတွေဒုက္ခတွေနည်းလာရင်ဘဝကစိတ်ချမ်းသာစရာတွေရှင်းတတ်စရာတွေစိတ်ချမ်းမြေ့မှုတွေဖြစ်လာတယ်စိုက်တယ်ပြီးတော့မှတက်လူရဲ့ဘောပေါ်မှာဟိုဒီပြီးတော့က mindfulness ဆိုတာပါ right understanding ဆိုတာပါအဲ့ဒါတော့ချက်တော့ပြည့်ဒါပေမဲ့ wrong understanding ဆိုတာပါမင်းရတဲ့ဒီတော့ဒိဋ္ဌိသုံးမျိုးပေါ့ဒါ wrong understanding ချက်ရတာဒိဋ္ဌိပေါ့ဒီမှာ right understanding ကိုချက်ရတော့ဒါဓမ္မဒိဋ္ဌိ၅မျိုးright understanding ကိုပြောမယ်ဆိုရင်ဒါယုတ်တရားနဲ့တရားတွေပါလာတာပေါ့အိဋ္ဌဒုက္ခအနတ္တတွေပါလာ
စရရတယ်တည်တယ်တော်တော့တက်တယ်ကတော့တက်တယ်လောက်ချင်လို့မရတယ်လောတတ်တာတော့ရတာ
So we will homepage, we will pay homage to the Buddha by recitation of Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Now we will do the discussion first for 45 minutes. Then we will try this together. So in the discussion you can participate. You can ask any question about what you want to understand. First, we should understand what is validation. Validation is trying to develop the mindfulness and right understanding to stop the wrong understanding and attachment. In the book, already
written. Already have it.
Book you can take. You can take so.
No, yeah, you can take it.
You can take as your own. So.
We give you free.
So two we need to recognize. Two qualities we need to cultivate. We need to develop. What are they? They are mindfulness and right understanding. And then why we need to cultivate the mindfulness and right understanding? Because everyone would like to be free from physical and mental suffering. In fact, everyone would like true happiness, true purification. But most of the people are suffering. Why? Because understanding and attachment. As long as the wrong understanding and attachment are happening in our minds, they will cause suffering. So wrong understanding and attachment are origin of suffering. We need to reduce and abandon. We need to let go. So how we can develop mindfulness and right understanding in the practice? Generally, we think the practice is closing the eyes and sitting on the floor without moving. In fact, mindfulness and right understanding can be developed in any situation, in any activities. But for the beginners, in any situation, any activities, to be developed, mindfulness may be difficult. So we make the situation or condition to develop mindfulness easily. At the beginning, we were trying to develop mindfulness and right understanding in a specific time. But later, we should be mindful, not only in a specific time, in a specific posture, but also in any posture, any action. So first we should understand meditation is trying to develop mindfulness and right understanding. Mindfulness and right understanding has the power to have the detachment power. Generally, we have the attachment about the things, about the body, about the mind. So we cannot be liberated from attachment. So to be free from wrong understanding and attachment, we need the detachment power. To be detached from the things, from the body, from the mind. Mindfulness and right understanding is the key of detachment. So to be free from suffering, we need to detach about the mind and body or action. We can do what we should do, but our action should be together with mindfulness, right understanding, and detachment. So, roughly we should understand meditation is trying to develop mindfulness, right understanding, and then it will cause the detachment. So what is mindfulness? We need to understand. So how do you understand what is mindfulness?
Mindfulness is just to be aware. Be aware of thoughts, feeling, anything.
Yes. And mindfulness means attentive awareness at the present moment. Without liking or disliking, without attaching or rejecting. It just means we can say just to be aware. But generally we are practicing the meditation with the idea of I, mind. If you are aware with the idea of I, mind, and that is not just to be aware. And in fact, to be aware with detachment, we need right understanding. In fact, right mindfulness can happen if we have the right understanding. Without right understanding, our mindfulness cannot be right mindfulness. So mindfulness should be together with right understanding. Roughly we should understand mindfulness is the attentive awareness at the present moment. Just to aware at the present moment. Without thinking the past happening or without worries about the future, and just to be aware at the present moment. So most of the meditation teacher talk about the present moment. So what is the present moment? So what is the present moment mean? What is happening now? So how do we think? What is happening now?
What the state that we're in? Are we sitting down?
Yes.
Thinking?
Yes.
Feeling?
Yes, roughly seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, or feeling. More than objects are happening at the present moment. Roughly we can see what is happening now is you try to listen about my teaching. That's been hearing. So, but at the same time, the air condition is affecting to your body to be cool. So feeling or touching about your body sense with the coolness is also that is what is happening now.
Can we be mindful of everything at one time? Feeling, thinking, tasting.
In fact, these processes are happening one after another, but in very high speed. So for the beginners, to be mindful one after another may be difficult for the beginners. So that means we, at the beginning, we were trying to focus a specific object, specific happening. And now your hand is touching to your legs. That is also what is happening now. That is touching. At the same time, your eyes see me. So seeing is also happening now. So hearing is also happening now. Hearing, seeing, touching, and feeling about the air condition. And so a lot of touching are happening in our mind and body. So for the beginners, a lot of touching are happening in our body, so it may be difficult which object to be mindful. So that means we will choose a specific object. And that is evident, most evident to be mindful. So that means to understand the present moment, we need to understand the 6 content of our 6 senses. So at the present moment, the 6 kinds of objects are coming in contact in our 6 sensitivities. So that means we should be mindful at the right moment, at the present moment of contact in our 6 sensitivities. So our 6 senses will come in contact with their corresponding objects. They are, you know about the 6 objects and 6 senses in our life. And what are the 6 senses? ear sense, nose sense,
mouth,
and tongue, tongue, and body sense, and mind sense. So 6 senses. 5 sense is physical nature, and 1 sense is mental nature.
What's mind? What's
Mind.
mind?
Mind sense. Because mind also have an input, right? Let's say you have a thought, right?
Mind,
The mind,
Oh.
yeah.
Mind,
Mind.
am
Mind
I
also,
happy?
the mind, consciousness.
To understand about the mind, we need more explanation. But roughly, we should understand mind. Mind means consciousness or knowingness regarding to the object. So, eyes is physical nature, light is also physical nature, color is physical nature. But at the moment of contact, the light or color, rays, contact with the eye sense, you will produce, you will condition the seeing consciousness. And now, a sound is physical nature, and your ear is physical nature. To contact off, to physical nature, sound contact with the ear sense, you will condition. You know, condition, you will produce the hearing consciousness. So 6 objects contact, 6 senses, you will condition 6 kinds of consciousness to arise, to produce. So mindfulness should be at the situation of the right contact of our 6 senses with their corresponding object. For the eye sense, the corresponding object is vision or visible object. For the ear sense, its corresponding object is the sound. For the nose, its corresponding object is smell. So you can understand about the 6. The main 6 in 6 objects, in 6 senses, 5 objects are physical nature. And the 6th one, the last one is deep and wide to understand. That is mind sense, contact with the mental object, it will produce the mental consciousness. And that at the meditation time, we will have some thoughts, thinkings, ideas, speculation. They are just a result of the contact of mind sense with the mental object. It will produce the thinking consciousness.
Mind and thoughts, is it?
Yes, like that, yes.
Mind and thoughts.
Later, I will discuss more detail about what is mind and thought. Generally, we consider mind is like the receiver or container about the thought, but it is not like that. Mind is not the soul or receiver, one's receiver, and that is accepting the thought or producing the thought. Life is mind is also just the appearing and disappearing process of knowing or feeling and then others function. So roughly we should understand 6 senses and 6 objects will come in contact together and you will condition the 6 kinds of consciousness to arise. So at the moment of contact, we will try just to be aware without the idea of I. So that is roughly about what is mindfulness. And then we should understand what is right understanding. Right understanding. Right understanding means the insight or wisdom about the reality, about the truth. Have you any understanding? Have you learned about the truth. The truth means
nature.
The nature, true nature, that will be always true, regardless of time or situation or religion or culture or any condition. And today it is true, but tomorrow it is not true anymore. It is not the real truth. And generally, to have the right understanding, we need to understand two kinds of truth. And one is we call creator truth. The other is original truth. Creator truth means that is not real truth. It is just a fake truth. For example, I, mine. My thing, your things. Something, someone are creator truths. Creator truths are not real, but they appear to be real.
As an illusion.
Because of illusion or because of ignorance.
Avijja.
Yes, avijja. Yes. I, my, something, someone. Even the goodness, honest is also just a concept of creator truth. 25 degrees Celsius will be cold comparing with the 40 degrees Celsius. Comparing with 0 degrees Celsius, 25 degrees Celsius does not appear to be cold. So, in some situation, regarding to the comparison to each other, creator truths appear to be real. I will be a teacher at the moment of teaching my student. But maybe at the moment of meeting with my teacher, I will be a student. If I am traveling with a train, I am a traveler and not a teacher, a student driver. At the moment of talking with my mother, I will be a son. So, teacher, student, mother, sons, enemy, friends, they are just a mental creation. If the mental creation or illusion change, the concept of creator truth will not be true anymore. So there is one subject we need to understand detail about what are the creator truths we need to analyze. Creator truths are not real, but they are useful if we can use in the right way. For example, I, mine is not real, but we can use your things, and then you can donate your things. So that means you can help others. So created truths are just for using only, without attaching or without rejecting. That is all to understand about the creator truths. Money is just a paper. It has the greater value. It is not real value. And now you can use the money. But you get into the deserts, and then no supermarket, no shop. You cannot buy anything for that situation. And money is no use. No, not so. Because you are losing the way on to be liberated from the deserts. So for that situation, money is useless. For that situation, only the banana, only the mango will be useful. $90. So created things, created truths are not real value, but we will use in the right way. We do not attach or we do not reject about the created truth, but we will just use the created truth to do good deeds and for the development of wisdom. So that is roughly about what is created truth. We need to understand for right understanding practice, insight practice. Sometimes we call Vipassana. Some people say Vipassana means seeing the things as they are. But we should also understand some created things. We should understand the created thing as created things. We should not think the created things as reality. My are created things, created truth, not real nature. So that means to have the wisdom or right understanding, we need to understand created truth as created truth. That means we need to understand unreal nature as unreal nature. And then at the same time, we should understand what are the real nature. We call original truth, real truth. Real truth means that is always true. Regardless of time or situation or religion or culture. Good things or bad things, what you like or dislike, cannot be always true. It will change regarding to situation. But original truth, real nature, will be always true, regardless of time or situation or religion or culture. So we need to understand what are the always true, regardless of time or situation or religion or culture. And some of Myanmar people migrate in Singapore, so they became the Singaporean. But before Abani Singaporean, they are Myanmar citizen. So Myanmar or Singapore citizen is not always true. It can be changed according to situation. Some people convert their religion. So even the religion cannot be always true. It will be changed regarding to situation. So my country, culture, citizen, religion are just a concept of created truth. It will change according to time or situation. Or we can consider they are always true or original truth. So what are the original truth, real truth? That will be always true, regardless of time or situation. How do you think? What are the real truth that is always true?
Rain?
Huh?
Rain? Raining?
Raining. Yes, that is water nature. So that means water nature. So that would be always true.
Suffering?
Yes. So that means we need to understand three kinds of nature. That will be always true. Eternally true. What are they? They are physical nature, mental nature,
Mother nature?
mental nature, physical nature, mental nature.
Mother nature.
Mental. Physical nature, mental nature, and Nibbana nature. Nibbana nature. That is our final goal. Just now you got rain. Rain is the physical nature. There are four kinds of nature. Four.
Three or four?
Three nature. But to classify what is physical nature, what is mental nature, and what is Nibbana nature. First, we should understand what are the physical nature. Just now you do rain. Rain is inclusive in the physical nature. There are four kinds of physical nature. They are fire, water, wind, and earth nature. These four natures are always true, always happening as impermanent nature. So whatever, you can change your religion, you can change your nationality regarding to the situation, but you cannot change the combination of or the process of four nature. We call four elements: fire, water, wind, and earth elements. The so-called our body is just a combination of four elements. Four nature.
Body is not real nature. A physical body is.
Physical body is.
It's the four elements.
I mind is. I mind is created through fake nature, but the process of four elements is real nature. Sometimes we say four energies: fire, water, wind, and earth. These energies, these nature are always true as changing nature, impermanent nature.
The body is real.
Body is not real. The full nature is combination of full nature is real. So that means we should understand what is the difference between the body and the full nature. For example, the cake. The cake is not the original existence. Why cake appear in the human world? Because we create the cake. All cake arise because we combine a lot of ingredients. We combine the sugar, wheat, butter, soda, egg, and so on. So my question is, what is cake? Which ingredient is cake? Is sugar cake inside? Is wheat cake inside? Is butter cake? Is egg cake? ingredients. If you can separate the ingredients, different ingredients in different area, there will be no more cake. Depending on the ratio of combination of ingredients, it can become the donuts or honestly hamburger or bread or pizza. So that means we combine a lot of ingredients in different ratio. It becomes the pizza or hamburger or cake or donuts or any snack. So what I mean is something, form, shape are arising for the food. Any kind of food is just a combination of a lot of ingredients. Ingredient is just an ingredient. It is not a cake or pizza or hamburger. But we label that is cake, that is pizza, that is hamburger regarding to the combination ratio of ingredients. Or the same way, we label that is human, that is body, that is neck, that is animal, that is eye, that is flower, that is tree, that is rice. Depending on the combination of the ratio of four elements, four energies, fire, water, wind, and earth. So body is, the cake is created truth. The combination of ingredient is original truth. That is just the example. So the cake is look like the body. The combination of ingredient is look like the combination of four elements, four nature. Can you understand? So that means we should understand concept as concept. Concept means created truth. We should not think created truth as reality. If you think created truth as reality, that is ignorance, that is avijja. To stop the avijja, we need to understand created truth as created truth and real truth as real truth. That is original truth.
This combination is sankhara.
Yes, sankhara means is a conditional nature, conditional arising. Now later more analyzing, these four elements are also cannot arise by itself. They can arise depending on their respective condition. So we call they are also conditional nature. Conditional nature, they can arise by our own desire. They can arise depending on their respective condition. So we cannot say that is my body, because they are arising. They can arising depending on their respective condition. Without a condition, they cannot arise. So sometimes we sick because the condition change. Maybe you eat and digest the food, you feel sick. That is these four elements cannot arise by itself. They can arise depending on the nutrients. That is one cause for supporting. So that means these four elements cannot arise by itself. They can arise by their condition. So we call sankhara. Sankhara means their combination is also not our desire. They are also just a condition arising. So that means we should understand physical nature. These process, combination process of these four elements is original truth. Right? We do not understand this physical nature as physical nature in the right way. We think this physical nature or four elements as I, mind, or my body. So to have the wisdom, to have the right understanding, we need to understand four elements as four elements. We should not think four elements as I, mine, or self. So that is roughly about what is physical nature as an original nature. If we cannot understand what is physical nature, that is original truth, we think something, someone, I, mine as real. Maybe today I discussed because some a lot of message you cannot catch totally. So do you want break or now we are meditate together? It's okay.
I can understand.
I can understand. Yeah.
You already got a visit, right? So it means that you already have some basic because you already read before.
It's quite clear, so I know.
Yeah, read before.
Quite
Right?
well explained the cake and the body. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
So our body is not real, right? You understand?
Anatta.
That's why in always our just only have this transformation, right? Through nama, rupa, and Nibbana. Nama, rupa, and Nibbana, only three.
We need to understand three nature. But now I discuss only the physical nature.
Reality is only the three. No free.
And then later we should also understand this physical nature is like the river, ever changing. Nature, ever changing nature, impermanent nature, from moment to moment. So that's
the element, is it anicca? The element,
yes, the elements are also
fire, water.
Yes, these four elements are not existing as the same one, as the same thing along the timeline. They are also conditional arising and changing, impermanent. That means they are not arising as the same one. They are not existing as the same one along the timeline. They are appearing and disappearing, arising and ceasing from moment to moment. So we call ever new impermanent nature. We call conditional impermanent nature. So later we should understand these four elements as not the same one along the timeline, but they are just the conditional nature or impermanent nature. And later, original truth is conditional impermanent nature. They are not something or the same thing along the timeline. That is wisdom. Mindfulness should be together with that kind of wisdom. Without the right understanding about their nature, mindfulness is not complete. We will meditate together. 45 minutes is okay. We use the guided meditation. So at the meditation time, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes I guide, and maybe I stop 1 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So you can analyze and you can be mindful by yourself. So we will use the guided meditation. So you choose your posture. Relax your body, relax your mind. Although I say to be relaxed, your mind and your body, in fact, it is not your body or your mind. They are just physical nature, physical process, and mental nature, mental process. The so-called our body is not the same one, the same thing that is remaining along the timeline. But they are changing process, impermanent process of four elements, four energies. At the beginning, we were trying to focus on the breathing. That is trying to develop mindfulness. Meditation is not breathing exercise, but by using the breathing or contact in our six senses, we were trying to develop mindfulness and right understanding. At the beginning, we were trying to develop mindfulness by using the breathing or one kind of object that is evident to be mindful at the present moment of contact of in our six senses. At the moment of in-breath, just be aware of it without attaching or rejecting. At the moment of out-breath, just be mindful of it without attaching or rejecting. In fact, not only the breathing, but also any object can be used to be mindful without attaching or rejecting. The key of the practice is just to be mindful without attaching or rejecting or without taking serious, without taking as a normal. should not think physical nature as my body or